It's about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We are back here in the hot seat once again on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday if you're listening in national syndication instead of online, or an any day if you're on iTunes, or a Saturday or Sunday if you're one of our amazing military members that are overseas. And thank you guys for all you do, and honored to have you tuning into the Down and Dirty Radio Show on the American Forces Network. But awesome show on tap today. I was in Minnesota over the weekend racing in the Terracross finale. We'll get to that later on in the show, but an awesome event there at Elk River Motorsports Park, ERX Motor Park in Elk River, Minnesota. Same place they have the Torque track, same place they have the Winter X Games Snow Bike Qualifier, an amazing facility. Going to definitely get into talking about that today. Also, I was in L.A. yesterday, meetings in Beverly Hills, and then, I'm baller status, right? Beverly Hills. No, our good partners at Podcast One are located in Beverly Hills, so we were there. But then also in Studio City with my friends at Echo Entertainment, doing some TV for Terracross. That's going to drop the 29th. That is this weekend, the very first episode of the Terracross Championship, our preview show, and I had the opportunity and honored to host that. So lots going on in my world, man. SEMA next week. Camp RZR this weekend. But today, we've got Josh Herron. He's calling in. Best in the Desert winner Mitch Guthrie as well. We got Jenn Hallstrom with Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. Joe Duncan. Amy Hood's chiming in a few times today. Got Best in the Desert results, Lucas Oil results, a ton coming at you on your favorite Action Motorsports radio show. So stay tuned. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Sorry if my voice is a little bit scratchy today or a little bit different than normal. I had a little bit of a cold last week and then ended up going to Minnesota racing Terracross. I also, when I'm racing Terracross, I also do a bunch of live MC work and things like that, so I'm on the mic all day long. Then turn around yesterday, and I was in Studio City to voice a television show for Terracross. So I've been on the mic for I don't know how many days straight. So I think my voice is finally starting to kind of break down a bit. So bear with me, man. If my voice is cracking and sounding kind of funny today, at least you guys know what's up. But, man, we got some amazing guests today. Amazing guests on my other show, Project Action. We just had Frank Grillo on air. I don't know if you guys know him from the Purge series, Captain America, Prison Break, The Gray. I mean, this dude's like an action movie celebrity. But you guys should definitely go and check out that interview. He's in a new movie called The Wheelman. Over on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, and it's about a bank heist go wrong, but he's the getaway driver, and the entire movie is filmed in the seat of the car with him. So it's pretty rad. It really is. But I had the opportunity to get Frank Grillo on. Just an amazing interview. Guy rides dirt bikes. He's a fighter. He's just a badass. Let's put it that way. He's just a badass, right? But lots of fun catching up with him, and it tied in with that movie Wheelman that was out. But it's kind of one of those interviews. Sometimes I do stuff on Project Action I don't think you guys are interested in. So I don't mention it, but this one, definitely, you guys want to go and listen to this interview. It's that good. You can subscribe to that show over there on iTunes, listen to it on Podcast One, but the easiest place, or downanddirtyshow.com as well, but the easiest place definitely to go and subscribe on iTunes. So thanks to everybody who's been tuning in on that one. And we got Tiffany Stone this week on Project Action as well. I had her a few weeks ago on this, but kind of dived down into her backstory and stuff. I think you guys are going to like that one. So Torque TV personality Tiffany Stone, she's on tap for this Thursday. So lots of fun coming over on Project Action, and a ton of fun here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. I got to tell you, man, the next couple of weeks are really kind of crazy here. So we're doing this show. I've got Project Action dropping. I'm going to Camp RZR this weekend. Turn around, and then like next week, it's crazy. So we're going to do the national show on Tuesday, just like always. We're going to have a Project Action that drops on Thursday, like always. But I'm going to be doing a live show from the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame on Monday night. And then I'm also going to be doing a podcast from SEMA with my friends from Car Throttle. So I don't know the schedule of all of this shenanigans yet, when they're dropping and things like that, and the exact times, but I can promise you guys I'm going to get like a social media graphic put together. But next week we got like 4 or 5 shows pumping out across my two different brands. So I'm telling you, it's going to be a wild one, man. It is definitely going to be a wild week, but it's going to be a ton of fun too. But SEMA always cranks things up a notch, that's for sure. Looking forward to that, man. Tweet me if you guys are looking forward to SEMA. If you're going out there, hit me up on social media at Jim Beaver 15. 15. Let me know when you're going to be out there. I'll be around. I'll be at the Off-Road Hall of Fame Monday, and then I got Halloween with my daughter Tuesday, so I won't be there Tuesday. But Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be at SEMA all day, both days. So definitely hit me up, man. I'd love to meet the fans. Those of you that do hit me up, come and say hey at Terracross or out at Crandon. I love it, man. I love meeting you guys. Love hearing about what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, and everything in between. So always fun catching up with the fans. And man, it was a big weekend in motorsports. A couple of back-to-backers, right? We had Monster Energy Cup, we had Red Bull GRC, and we had Formula Drift, the finale 2 weeks ago. We're not even talking about adding in like NASCAR and everything else and NHRA, right? So we had all that plus a couple of TV shows, Crandon Red Bull Signature Series. We had, we had the Monster Energy UTV World Championship X Games thing, and then turn around this week and we had the Terracross finale. We had Lucas Oil Off-Road in Phoenix. And then we had Best in the Desert happening up there in Tonopah. And then we had Score opening pre-running for the Baja 1000. And so it was kind of wild. I had friends spread all over the country. It was nuts. So we're going to dive into a lot of that this weekend. Later on in the show when Amy chimes in and things like that, and we got some of the guests. But man, it was a pretty wild weekend. It's I'm trying to think. I think that's probably one of the last big weekends that we've got. Not only that, we had F1 I think in Austin, right? And some of the big news coming out, speaking of Austin, I do want to mention, and this is really, really big news. So the FIA World Rallycross schedule dropped today, about 6 hours ago. As of now, if you're listening later on in the week, timing's all off, right? But it's up on their Instagram, Facebook, and that. And I got to tell you, shots fired. That is right. We've been wondering, Red Bull Global Rallycross, and I got friends on both sides of the pond. I got no dog in this fight. I support Rad Motorsports. That's what I do with this radio show. I don't draw lines. It's like with short course. I got friends at Lucas. I got friends at Torque. I don't say one is better than the other. I just tell you the stories and the personalities, right? I take the same stance in rallycross, same stance in stage rally. I just like telling the rad stories of motorsports, right? But you got to wonder, man. Red Bull GRC has owned the U.S. market now for quite some time. But FIA World Rallycross, a couple years ago they brought in the event there at Troy Rivers in Canada. That is back on the schedule in August. But they brought in, get this, around in the United States. We've been wondering when it was going to happen, and that's long been rumored. It was like, I wonder where they're going to do it, this and that. September 29th and 30th, Austin, Texas, round 10 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship in the United States. Man, you gotta say, shots fired at Red Bull GRC if you are FIA World Rallycross right now. I don't want to call it a ballsy move. I call it a smart move. If I was them, I would have done it a year or two ago. But wow, that is a blockbuster. And if you're fans of rallycross, and we got a lot of fans. We did this reader poll a couple of weeks ago, right? And we were talking, favorite motorsports and stuff like that. And rally and rallycross right up there next to off-road. It was literally a massive chunk of our listeners like that, Surprising, like Drift was down at the bottom. We had a lot of people like in Superbike and IndyCar and NASCAR and Power Sports were right up there too. So we had like Power Sports, Rally, and Off-Road were our top three, right? So Power Sports, including Supercross and stuff like that, snowmobile racing and things. But FIA World Rallycross, they got a lot of momentum going right now. They got some great racing. Obviously, Ken Block leaving the series, that's going to hurt them. Makes you wonder if maybe Ken Block would do a one-off at USA next year. That would make sense. I could see that possibly happening. Just source like an M Sport car of some sort and run one round of FI World Rallycross here in the U.S. I could definitely see that with Ken. I don't have any personal knowledge of the situation. Haven't talked to Ken or the boys at the team in a while, so I don't know. But, just looking at that, I'm like, man, this is a big opportunity for FI World Rallycross. They're massive over in Europe, but to get a foothold in the United States, and you got to wonder about their TV package too, because like right now it's on channel 2,566 in the United States on DirecTV, and nobody even knows the name of the channel or how to find it. I guess this stuff is aired on TV in the U.S., but we don't know where to find it. But, man, it makes you wonder, and you see with, like, Formula One once in a while, like, they come to run the United States or whatever, instead of being on some backwoods channel, they'll throw it up on the good channels, for one round. I could see that happening with FIA World Rallycross, so especially with Monster Energy's tie in there, and ESPN and Monster Energy with their relationship. I could see this a big, big deal. So this just being announced today. I haven't had a chance to read up on it, but FI World Rallycross coming to the United States in Austin the 29th and 30th of September. This is big, and I got to tell you, if I have that weekend free, I am hopping a flight to Austin, no doubt, and going and checking it out. But we'll try and get more information on this, bring it to you guys next week. But that was some big, big breaking news this morning, and if you're a Rallycross fan, you are definitely on your feet, giving each other high fives, that's for sure. But we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We got Jenn Hall with Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame coming up next. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here with my good friend Jenn Hallstrom with the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, or at least that's the hat you're wearing this week, right, Jen?
One of many hats that I wear. Thank you for having me on, as always, Jim. It's so great to get on with you.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was trying to think back. I don't know the last time we had you on air. It's, I don't know, probably at least been 6-8 months. I can't even think. I don't know. I can't. I think
it was right around this time last year.
Holy crap.
Talking to ORMHOF and talking the event and everything.
Wow.
It's been a busy year for me, too, bouncing all over just like you, so I really haven't had too much time to sit down and chat.
Yeah, right. But you up and moved from Vegas to SoCal, and you're all over the grid now. But I mean, talking about Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, I know it's one of those things that it kind of builds up. Like that stuff comes out, and then I think what are packets due in by like April or something like that, and and then we have kind of the voting goes on. Then we get some nominees come, we get the announcement of who's going to get inducted midsummer. And then the Impact Awards come out. And that's where we're at right now, is we've got all the voting for the Impact Awards. But, kind of take us through this process, because one thing that, and it was talked about on Race Desert the other day, and I mentioned something and I said something, and then somebody from ORMHOF kind of chimed in. But the thing I like about Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame is that it truly is driven by, by the fan community or by the off-road community, right? I mean, you have to nominate somebody to be put in there. There's not like some god somewhere that just sits there and says, oh, hey, we're going to anoint this guy in. Like, if he doesn't get nominated, there's no chance they can get in. So sometimes people get pissed off and they're like, oh, how come so-and-so's not in there? But they don't realize, like, nobody nominated him. It's kind of falls back on us, right?
Exactly. So it's a process. And what happens is every year at the first of the year, starting February 1st, we open up the nomination packet. So you could download it right off of the website, ormhof.org, and you have 3 months to fill that packet out and get it turned in. And they want to know why this person deserves to be nominated. And it's not necessarily just because of race results. It's what they've done for the off-road community, what they did to change the way things were done and help to build and grow off-road as well. So you have about 3 months, and then you get to turn it in, and then the board gathers together a voting committee that is around 20 people who are all in the off-road industry, and not just like the desert side of things, but there's people from desert, there's people from short course, there's people from UTV, there's people from the marketing side of things, and, just a good solid group of people that then come in and look at all of these packets. And, we're hitting record numbers of packets being turned in. I believe over 60 this year.
Holy crap.
So then you really got to think, wow, now the board has to go through all of these and narrow it down to a top 5, and so they have a whole process that they go through to make sure that favorites isn't being played. And then, we come out with it. And some years we only come out with 4 people because of the way voting works. And so that's what we have this year, is 4 great people being inducted. And I'm excited and think that every single one of them brings something different, or brought something different to the table of off-road racing. So it's a very unique group this year for sure. And we're excited to see them and celebrate with them next Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's a really good group that's going in. I mean, there's some legends there. I mean, and like I look at it every year too, and I forget like some of these people that aren't in, and it's like I see a guy like Bob Gordon. I'm like, oh, wow, Bob's getting inducted. I just would have figured he was already in the Hall of Fame. But that's what's kind of exciting about it. It brings these names back to the forefront of our industry.
Yep, and his family reached out to us because it kind of just was under their radar, him being in the Hall of Fame. And after last year happened, they were kind of like, we need to make this happen for our dad and at least put his name in. And I think he's just such an iconic person that everybody knows. And so we're excited to celebrate with his family this year. They're going to be there in large numbers, just doing one last great thing for their dad and for a true racing legend.
Yeah.
So that will be good. And then, so like you mentioned, then we have the Impact Awards. This is also a great thing that ORMHOF is doing that helps just bring attention to other people that are doing great things and aren't necessarily needing to get inducted just yet, but are possibly making their way to being that legendary status. And so we want to recognize them, and that's when we have our Impact Awards, and which consists of 6 categories. The board gets together throughout the year and, kind of drops in names of who they think is doing really good, who we should pay attention to. And then once we narrow that down to a top 5 in each category, it actually opens up to our members to be able to vote. So this is a unique way for people in the off-road community to be able to have their say. And it is a voting membership. The minimum is $25, but what that $25 actually goes to is the cool things that ORMHOF is doing that not a lot of people know about. If you follow us on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen everything. So you can become a voting member and know, too, that money is going to other things like archiving and digitizing all of the Dusty Times files that were donated to us. Could you imagine that task, Jim?
I'm just like, no, and it's funny because Dusty Times, gosh, my dad's got a drawer, and it's full of, old off-road stuff where he was on the cover of or an article on him, back in, the 70s and 80s. And, there's some old, crusty Dusty Times magazines that have yellowed and everything else or newspapers. And I'm like, man, I can't imagine having an archive of every single one, from the dawn of time. That is so much information and so much content, and it's just a massive undertaking.
It's huge. It's boxes upon boxes upon boxes. And then not only the Dusty Times, we have some historic race videos that we have to digitize, and we're going to upload to a YouTube channel so that people can enjoy them and share them. And, you can see your dad racing, and your people's grandpas racing and stuff like that. And then Judy Smith donated her stuff to us, too. So just think of everything that Judy Smith had. So we have all of these archives that now we're going to digitize, and ORMHOF is going to put out there for people to read and view and just enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. It's just wow. And for you guys to even take on that task, that's just man, that's just, any way the off-road community can help, they definitely need to. So let's go back to talking about the Off-Road Hall of Fame induction ceremony, though. I know, so we've got voting right now going on for Impact Awards. Those literally lead up right until they're announced, basically, right? People can vote online and then in person at the ceremony at the South Point, correct?
So the first year that we brought them up, we let people do it during the cocktail reception. But this past year we pulled back, and it actually closes the night before at midnight because it takes a while to tally everything and just make sure nobody's double voted and stuff like that. And then we also want to make sure to try and get the people that we know are winning there without kind of spoiling the surprise. So, yeah, you have up until next Sunday, the 29th, till midnight to get your vote in, and then the winners are announced during the ceremony on Monday.
Awesome. And for people that want to go to the ceremony, I know tickets were getting pretty scarce there. Do you guys still have a few left, or are they sold out by now?
We are actually on a waiting list for the first time ever. We're at over 520 people, which we were not prepared for. So there is a waiting list. We are going through and making sure that everybody is using their ticket, and if they're not, then we are reselling or opening that ticket up for somebody to purchase. So if they want to come, they can come and enjoy it. So if you are interested, make sure you go to our website, go to the ceremony tab, and put yourself on that waiting list, because I'm checking it by the hour and opening it up to people as it comes in and as we get open tickets.
Okay. You've got my ticket reserved, right? I don't need to get on that waiting list?
You're on there, Jim. You're good. And I'm excited to see you there because we're doing something new for the first time, and that's having you sit down during our cocktail reception and chit-chatting with the people that are going to be there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because, you know, I go to races and there's just a different atmosphere when you're there, and you can just, people drop by with a drink in their hand and you shoot the bull for a few minutes, and like there's just a different feel than doing something over the phone or in a studio, you know. And I think, you know, and then you get to see some of these legends of the sport that we don't get to see very often, you know, because one, some of them are getting older and, you know, they don't have social media accounts, so you wonder what they're doing, but then you go to an event like this and you get to see them. And you get to talk with them, and you get to find out what they're doing. And, like, to me, that is so awesome, you know, because these are people that I looked up to as a kid. You know, they were legends, and it's like, you know, and now I get to see them and talk with them, and I'm like, oh, man, I haven't, you know, seen you in 10 years, and that's what gets me excited.
Yeah, you know, what we're really looking forward to this year, too, is we have Vic Wilson coming, who won the very first Baja 1000, and you know, so we kind of started going through our guest list, and like, we have a lot of Baja 1000 winners who are going to be in the room at the same time, you know, more so than we may have ever had together. So we're really honing in on that too. It's really unique. We also have Parnelli Jones coming. Nice. He is such an iconic name in off-road too, but then you also have people like Rob McCachran attending, who's like our kind of like modern day hero to kids younger than us that look up to racers and stuff. You know, you and I probably look at Rob and we're like, oh, hey, you know, we know you, we're buddies kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, kids younger than us probably look at him the way that we looked at Bob Gordon and Ivan Stewart and stuff like that. So Rob will be attending. And, of course, we've got Robbie Gordon going to be there to support his dad, which will be awesome. And just so many great names and just a great crowd of people in one room that you kind of do get starstruck in a sense to think that all of these great people are here just to hang out and have a good time and celebrate off-road essentially.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a good time. We got to cut to a break, Jen. Thanks for calling in, and definitely looking forward to the ceremony next week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim, and I'll see you on Monday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jen, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you, but you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, joined on the line by my Polaris Razor Factory Racing teammate, Mitch Guthrie Jr. How's everything going, Mitch?
What's going on, guys? Everything's going good. How about you?
Oh, doing well. Just been kind of some crazy travel a bit lately. I think you've had some crazy travel too. China and then Best in the Desert. You've been like globetrotting, man.
Yeah. It's been rough for sure lately, but it's not too bad when you're having fun.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask. I mean, we'll talk about the Best in the Desert race and the win and Camp Razor coming up this weekend, but I got to ask you about China because this was a Polaris Razor deal. I know you and RJ went. I mean, how did this get put together, and what? I mean, we've seen like Dubai and all these other places how how Razor Life is kind of taken over the globe. But what was like how's the UTV industry in China? Because this is something I don't know anything about.
Man, yeah, it's growing a ton, and there's a lot of potential out there for sure. Me and RJ went out Camp Razor China, had an event out there, and it was a part of an even bigger event, so it was kind of a small part of it, but this entire event they're saying over 1 million people, which it definitely looked like it. For sure was the biggest event I've ever been to, so that was cool. And then seeing all the people out there, they're super pumped on Razors, but it's kind of a new thing, so it was cool for me and RJ to go out and kind of talk to all the people out there and kind of see what it's all about. But there's a ton of potential out there for sure, and it's growing a lot, and they definitely love the sport of off-road for sure, and they've got some great dune riding out there too.
Yeah, and I've talked to some guys, like Robbie Gordon. I know Harley Lettner's gone to China and raced. Like, there's like a massive like off-road culture in China that I don't think a lot of people even know that is there. You know, you think of China, you don't think of off-road, but it's like there, and I mean it's a big movement over there, and and I didn't realize it, but I mean if there was an event with almost 1 million people, I mean that's massive.
Yeah, it was insane, and they had I was telling everyone when they were asking me is I thought I'd seen a lot of things and done most things I could possibly do, but no, everything I did out there was new. And then we went to Beijing, saw the Great Wall and Forbidden City, all that stuff, and then we went a few hours into the desert, and it was like a city they built in the desert. Apparently the guy, Mr. Wu, has about a $2 billion budget per year, so they're building things so fast. Everything wasn't done yet, but we met up with Mr. Wu, the CEO, and he was telling us about how he wants to build 5-star hotels, have an airport, horse racing track, short course track, all those different types of things. So it's pretty insane out there, and everywhere we turn, so there is something new. This is pretty crazy.
That is crazy, man. That's nuts. So, fast forward, obviously you get back from China, you got Tonopah, and I got to say, I was looking at the finish times. Dude, your time in Pro UTV, and I know you clipped second place by 5 minutes or something, but you were your times are, you were less than an hour short of Jason Voss in the overall winning trophy truck. I mean, was it just a fast course, or are UTVs getting that much faster, or is it a bit of both?
I think it's definitely a little bit of both. I know in a lot of areas, honestly, that the UTVs are a lot faster than, the trucks because they're super nimble. And then the other thing is that they're getting so much faster. So now we kind of gain on them in a lot of the tight things or tight areas. And then now once we hit a lot of the open roads, we're going 90 plus. So, we still have a long way to go. Like I looked, and we were 45 minutes behind Jason Boss, who was the first trophy truck, which 45 minutes is a long time, but you gotta give it up. I think the UTVs are growing. I think people thought they'd, be moving up through the ranks in the classes and everything, but I don't think many people could have guessed that we'd be doing it this fast.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times, like, people go, oh, that one guy just had a good race, But, like, I'm looking at this, like, you had a phenomenal race, but I'm looking behind you and, Burrows and Brandon Schuler. And, I mean, there's a couple of guys who their times are really good as well. So it's not like one guy had a good race. The class as a whole, I feel like, is getting a lot faster. It's just not one guy stepping out there with a really good program. I think it's a lot of guys with a lot of good programs pushing this thing forward.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing for sure that I like about the UTV class is it's kind of turning into a lot like the trophy trucks where you have a ton of top teams that could win the race, and they're putting a ton of time and effort into it, and it's making for good races because it's the same as the trophy trucks where you see the Mint 400 things like that where if someone has one flat that kind of can ruin your race, and it's the same thing in the UTVs now. I mean, luckily we just gas and go all race, but you lose one belt, one tire, anything goes wrong, then that could set you back a few spots and you're out of the podium. So that's what's cool, and what makes it super competitive now is all the guys out there racing are fast.
Yeah, well, and it's like at Vegas to Reno, I mean, our program's a little bit different, but we've built this car and we've set it up and we're doing the development work just like you would, a car that every single race you're running for an overall win. And I think our car development-wise is right there, but it was even like at Vegas to Reno. I mean, we had a problem in the first 30 miles and we had to pull into the first pit, and everybody had just checked out, like one little problem, and it's just like your day is done. It's like you're running for a finish. And the good and the bad of it is it sucks when you're in that position, but it's awesome to have a class that's like that. Like you said, I mean, it's as competitive as trophy truck. I mean, I look at the competitive classes, and you've got trophy truck, you've got 6100, and you've got turbo UTV. I mean, those are the big three now, and that's a statement because 5 years ago nobody would have ever predicted that.
Yeah, for sure. I actually just recently watched some Murray brothers that have been racing Best in the Desert and Score for a long time put up a video. It was like the evolution of the UTV, and they started out in a stock Rhino, built it up. Probably about a decade ago, and we always say it, but it's pretty insane, and I don't think anyone could have guessed where they'd be now. And like you said earlier, our finishing times and everything really goes to show it. And I like this race. Actually, it was a super fast race, but we had an average speed of I think I calculated it was 54 miles an hour. So
that's crazy.
I mean, from going from a stock Rhino golf cart basically to 55 mile an hour average for a race is pretty insane.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, and, I just look at it. I mean, obviously we've got the teams like you that are super competitive. You got guys like Scanlon, who he's still figuring out his new car, but that car is super fast. But, I look at the guys coming in. I mean, Reese Millen and, and you've got guys like Larry Rossler and Larry Ragland's, tried his hand at things for a while. And, like, I'm just looking at these names coming in. And, I mean, we're talking like, I know McCachran's talking about coming in. And, and it's like, Robbie Gordon's there. And it's like these are like the biggest names in our sport. And all of a sudden it's like they eye this UTV thing. And it's like, man, that's a statement for us as a whole, in the class where, guys like, Robbie Gordon, McCachran, and Rossler and Reese Millen want to come in and they could race any class they want to, and this is a class they're thinking about doing.
Yeah, totally. I think that's a good way to look at it. Is that's how much you can tell the sport's grown, and the names that are getting into it, people that have raced just about anything in off road or even on road, and then for them to come into it and want to race the Polaris RZR is pretty cool for sure.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Obviously, we got Camp RZR coming up this weekend. I'm assuming you guys are going to be out there, shredding the dunes, you and your dad. But pass out. What's going on?
Yeah, super busy. We got a lot of stuff going on. Got Camp Razor coming up, so we're probably leaving there tomorrow so we could, 5 days of tuning. That'll be a lot of fun. And then after that, I'll actually be racing the Baja 1000 with Team Jagged X. So they actually just finished just behind me in Tonopah, and we're good friends with them. So they asked me to drive. So it looks like I'll be starting the race for them. Shortly after that, we have the last Best in the Desert race. And then from there, if we go into December, and that's kind of finally we get like a month off, which isn't too long, but preparing for the next season of Best in the Desert and kind of just getting everything in order for 2018.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking at. I'm like, man, Pahrump, and then you've got Parker 4 weeks later, and 2 weeks of that 4 weeks is the holidays, and it's like, man, it's a crazy turnaround. It really is.
Yeah, we don't. That's what I always tell everyone. It's like, well, we don't really get an off season, but I call it an off season in December.
Yeah, you get Christmas Day off. That's about it, Oh man. Yeah. So what's the plans for you guys look like next year? You back? Because I know you've been dabbling. I mean, you've done some Torque racing this year. You've done some Lucas racing. Obviously, you're doing Best in the Desert. You're going to be doing the 1000. You've done King of the Hammers. I mean, any idea what your schedule is kind of looking like for next year?
It's looking busy. For sure, I'll be doing Best in the Desert. And kind of at the moment, we're trying to figure out what else we'll be doing next year. I can almost guarantee I'll be doing King of the Hammers again, trying to getting that crown. And then short course, I had a lot of fun doing this year, and I know Lucas, it's been growing a ton. I think this year they're going to have a turbo class, which will be a lot of fun. Getting in the super fast cars. So kind of just getting things in order, but for sure going to be doing a lot of racing.
Yeah. I got to ask you, before we let you go, there's one thing, and you and I think RJ have made this like the most famous place, but every single post, doesn't matter if you're in China, you tag Sushi Show on your Instagram post. What the heck is that? I've been looking at this for months, and I'm like, I got to ask Mitchie, what the heck is the deal with Sushi Show?
Well, that's what I get that question probably about 5 times a day, but it's just a sushi spot by me that's super good, and I want them to sponsor me. So every time I go in there, I show them my phone, how many likes I get and stuff, and try to get them to give me some free meals. But so far, it hasn't worked out.
Well, I got to tell you, they're fools because they've become like the most famous sushi place in the United States. And I had.
I know, that's what I've been saying. Everyone asks me, and I've said so many people there, but they're still just not taking the bait. Man,
they ought to at least give you a discount card or something, like 30% off your order every time or something.
Yeah, so still working on that. That's probably about my biggest sponsor of 2018 I'm trying to land right now.
Yeah, forget the energy drinks and the tire companies and the oil manufacturers. Mitchie's going for the sushi. I dig it, man. Oh, that's too funny, man. Well, thanks for calling in, man. Tell your dad I said hey, and I'm sure we'll see you. I get out to Camp Razor on Friday, so I'll definitely have to look you guys up.
For sure. All right. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you in a few days and go shred some dunes.
All right. Sounds good, Mitch. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that was Mitch Guthrie Jr., winner of the Best in the Desert Pro UTV class. We'll get to some more of those results here shortly after the break. But I do want to mention one of our amazing partners here in Jim Beaver's Down and Dirty radio show, our good friends there at GenuinePolarisParts.com. Polaris prides themselves on the durability and reliability of their off-road vehicles. The machines are as dependable as anything in the industry. Things happen that you need in need of replacement parts for your favorite toy. You know what? You're a do-it-yourselfer and you want the exact parts that have taken you this far. You don't want that aftermarket junk. You want the real deal, right? Well, GenuinePolarisParts.com is your go-to online retailer for genuine, original manufacturer parts and accessories. Their step-by-step parts ordering process allows you to ensure you're getting the right parts for your Polaris off-road vehicle. GenuinePolarisParts.com makes it easy and stress-free by having all the diagrams with your year, make, model of your unit right there at your fingertips. Once you narrow down your search, you'll see a list of diagrams, and you'll visually see the parts you need to be replaced. It eliminates the headache of second-guessing your part and then trying to explain which part you need to the salesperson at the counter at the dealership. All you have to do, go to genuinepolarisparts.com/JimBeaver, and you'll be able to redeem a special offer that's only exclusive to the listeners of this show. Again, it's genuinepolarisparts.com/JimBeaver, and you'll get your parts delivered directly to your doorstep with genuinepolarisparts.com. Thank you, genuinepolarisparts.com, for your support. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
$61,000 in guaranteed cash prizes. It's the Crazy Cash Harvest.
Swipe your club card daily to receive drawing entries for the grand finale on November 25th with 3 $5,000 drawings, and one winner will win $25,000.
Plus, every Saturday, $3,500 in guaranteed cash prizes. Drawings from 2 to 6 p.m. Just see the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Get ready to get in the holiday spirit. American Idol Season 5 winner Taylor Hicks. Live in concert Saturday, December 9th. Inside the showroom at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Arizona time. General admission tickets $30. VIP tickets just $40. Tickets on sale now. Visit BlueWaterFun.com or purchase inside the casino gift shop. Don't miss the Taylor Hicks Christmas Show.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and we're going to roll right into some Best in the Desert results, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire, reminding you that anywhere is possible. And don't forget, if you go to their website currently this month, if you buy 4 General Tires, you get a gift card sent back to you with a purchase of 4 participating General Tires. So check out GeneralTire.com for more details. Best in the Desert in action up at Tonopah, Nevada. The Tonopah, the VT Construction Tonopah 250. And And Jason Voss taking that overall win in Trick Truck. Top 3 overall were Corey Kesar in a Trick Truck and Sam Barry in 3rd overall in a Class 1500. He also took, obviously, the Class 1500 win. Steve Kovac in 6100 taking that overall victory there. In Class 10, it was Nardo Gutierrez out of Mexicali taking the win. Class 2400 winner was John Hugh. We had Al Hogan with a 7,200 class victory. Going down UTV Turbo, obviously our previous guest, Mitch Guthrie Jr. in the Polaris Razor, taking the overall victory there. And the Polaris is with the sweeps. Production, Class 1900 in A. Robert Van Beekum out of Mesa, he took the win there. Shelby Thompson, the Class 5,000 winner. Todd Jackson was a class winner in Class 6,000. And, man, it was... Definitely a solid event had by Polaris Razor. Just looking at these results, but Unlimited UTV Unlimited went to Michael Esom, going down there to Class 7,300. It was Chad Hall, Robert Siebert taking the Class 1,700 Jeep Speed victory. 8,100 Sportsman went to Paul S. Bacher. And, Wayne Gudinger, 2,700 class winner. And those are your winners from the Best in the Desert event. So thank you, General Tire, for those results. And we will be back after this with more Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And Jim Beaver here. We got some more results for you guys, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire, reminding you that anywhere is possible. And we had a lot of racing over the weekend, and a lot of General Tire racing over the weekend. But Lucas Oil wrapping up their finale there in Phoenix at Wild West Motorsport Park. Had a couple of races this weekend, the shootout races and the finales for the championships. Pro 4 championship and win went to Kyle LeDuc. Congratulations goes out to Kyle for that victory, and which is, I believe, his 5th Pro 4 victory, or 4 championship victory. But this also marked Carl Renezetter's final short course career race. So definitely a bummer we won't see Renezetter back on the grid next year. But it sounds like he may do a little bit of desert racing. So looking forward to seeing him back out in the desert. Patrick Clark, he took the victory in Pro 2. Overall championship ended up going to Jeremy McGrath. Big congrats goes out to Jeremy. I need to shoot out an email and see if we can get him booked on the show here very, very soon. And then Pro Light champ went to Jarrett Brooks. Big shout out to my good friend and General Tire teammate Jarrett Brooks on his championship in Pro Light. Pro Buggy, it went to Darren Hot Sauce Hardesty, took the win and the championship. Production 1000 UTV. It was Brandon Arthur who took the win. 3 wins from 3 races at that track, man. Solid effort. Brandon Arthur definitely has Phoenix locked and loaded. Cheek finished 2nd, and Heeger finished 3rd, and Ray Griffith in 5th. Big shout out to my friend Ray Griffith on his solid effort, man, in the UTV. Stoked seeing car guys kind of checking out the UTV side of things. And we had the Challenge Cup, and Challenge Cup Pro 2 versus Pro 4. We had Kyle LeDuc taking the top spot in that, $30,000 in cash. We had in 2nd, it was RJ Anderson, $15,000. 3rd, $7,500 went to Mittag. Your winner in the Pro Light Challenge Cup it was Arthur with $10,000. Heger took second, $5,000. Anderson in third with $2,500 in cash and prizes. McCulloch took $10,000 in the buggies. Watson second, Hardesty Jr. third, and then UTV Challenge Cup. Looks like it was. Who was this? I'm trying to look at these results. It's hard to say here. It was Thomas taking the win. Sorry about that. Heger in second, and we had Arthur in third. So big shout-out to all the winners, and we will be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Blue Water Resort and Casino is giving away over $61,000 in guaranteed cash prizes. It's the Crazy Cash Harvest.
Swipe your club card daily to receive drawing entries for the grand finale on November 25th with 3 $5,000 drawings, and one winner will win $25,000.
Plus, every Saturday, $3,500 in guaranteed cash prizes. Drawings from 2 to 6 p.m. Just see the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here. Waiting on our good friend Joe Duncan to phone into the radio show. I just got done with that Terracross finale up there in Minnesota at ERX Motor Park over the weekend. Me personally, I kind of a bummer. Went in with the championship points lead by, I think, 1 single point. And ended up blowing a belt in one race and took in a third-place podium in the second. I think I lost the championship to Hubert Rowland by like 2 points or something. Really, really close. But definitely a fun event. Loving Terracross. it's definitely its own animal, that's for sure. But I'm figuring it out. Consistency pays off in Terracross, it seems. But lots of fun. Just an epic event there at ERX Motor Park, and a big Halloween party afterwards. And we definitely had a great time. Terracross got a lot of exciting things planned for 2018. 5 races, I think: Pennsylvania, SEMA, Sand Sports Show, Indianapolis, Heydays. Like, seriously, some epic events lined up for 2018. I'm definitely looking forward to being a part of all of those for sure. So definitely good times had by all out at Terracross. Joe Duncan should be calling in here shortly to chat on things, but. Man, one of the big things is looking at Terracross, and then kind of looking at at the events that surround it. Right, Heydays is kind of the kickoff to snow season. Heard a lot about snowmobile racing there. It's kind of where the teams kind of debut their new colors and this and that, and then getting a feel for things out at ERX Motor Park, because we're actually racing on a snowmobile track. They bulldozed it, kind of modified it for UTV racing. But I got to tell you, I'm really excited about 2017-2018 Snowcross Championship. Obviously, things kick off, the end of November on Thanksgiving weekend. But I got to tell you, it's going to be one heck of a 2018. I mean, you've got some guys, in Pro Light. You got K2 Motorsports, but then in Pro Open, man, Team LaValle making some big off-season changes with sponsors, and I think they're bringing their A game. You've got obviously, you've got Cody Cam, who's right there. I mean, Tucker Hibbert, he's going to have his hands tied again. I think he's gonna have some guys really hunting him down. So definitely looking forward to that. Man, it's gonna be a fun year, 2018, for all of motorsports. I mean, I'm just looking at like IndyCar storylines in the off season as well, right? And with IndyCar, we've got just some big changes going on. I mean, we got the All-American team of Andretti bringing in Zach Veach, and obviously, got the usual suspects, Alexander Rossi back, and Marco Andretti. Obviously, he's going to be an Andretti driver, right? And then you've got Ryan Hunter Ray there, and you got big moves with Tony Kanaan going to AJ Foyt Racing, and just looking at things like that in IndyCar, IndyCar is going to be amazing. Got the new cars coming out. It's just going to be a fun year. I mean, Supercross just announcing their schedule for 2018. Tickets are on sale now for that. That's got me excited. Some rad rounds there. Obviously, FIA World Rallycross dropping their calendar. They're coming to the United States. Best in the Desert's calendar's out there, making some pretty cool date changes there. We've got Lucas dropping their schedule, over the weekend, and they're adjusting their dates around, and it's going to actually make it easier for drivers to go to Crandon over Labor Day weekend. I applaud Lucas for that change. Reno isn't the date before it is Utah, so actually an event that's closer to Crandon and an easier trek. Probably that move alone probably saved drivers a day drive. So I just applaud. All the series seem like, they're not necessarily working together, but they're making smart moves that benefit Action Motorsports as a whole. And man, it's just a tremendous time to be in motorsport. I think we've seen at Sand Sports and then at Off-Road Expo some of the things on the dirt side, and I'm really looking forward to PRI show in December, and specifically SEMA coming up here next week. Like I said before, I'm going to be out there, but I think SEMA, we're going to see a lot of motorsports. There at SEMA, and we're going to get a feel for what's shaping up. I mean, drivers are always there representing sponsors, and generally you see drivers representing new sponsors at SEMA for the first time. Companies they'll represent in 2018. So I think it's definitely an exciting time for motorsports. Things are on the upswing. The economy's doing better, which means sponsors are spending more, drivers are able to invest more, race more. Just an exciting time. I mean, just talking to Mitch Guthrie, right? He's sitting there going, man, like, he's like, I don't, he's like, we're running best in the desert. And he's like, past that, we've got all these opportunities. I don't know, and he's a driver. You got Ken Block saying the same thing, right? Ken is going to be doing a whole bunch of everything next year. I know me. I mean, I will obviously be back in Star Car. I'll be back in Trophy Truck. I'll be back in Terracross. And I've actually got 2 to 3 other things up my sleeve that you guys know nothing about that I'm looking at going and competing in. And, and that we're talking things with an engine. So, like, there's that. Like, I am so excited about 2018. Supercross storylines. I mean, Formula Drift, we're going to see a new schedule by them, obviously with Irwindale going away. And it's so exciting. So, I'd like to hear from you guys, though. Seriously, we haven't even talked about NASCAR, Formula One, any of that type of stuff, NHRA. But, what are you guys looking forward to in 2018? I like to flip it back on you fans, right? You guys are tuning in. You listen to me every week. Some of you may not, but I like to know, what are you guys looking forward to in 2018? Is it traditional motorsports? Is it action motorsports? What driver changes? What events? What are you going out to? What are you excited for? What series? What storylines? What big news that have broke? And we're going to have a ton more the next couple of weeks and months, I think. But what are you specifically looking forward to in 2018? Hit me up, Twitter, at JimBeaver15, downanddirtyshow.com. You can use that contact form. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook. Let me know. But I always like to know what you guys are up to and what you guys are looking forward to. That's definitely for sure, man. It's going to be a fun off season, with the, I guess, silly season as it's called. I'm looking forward to hearing all about all these storylines. I know I subscribe to the Racer newsletter, get that to my inbox all the time. I've got some motorsports feeds in Twitter that I subscribe to, that keep the motorsports news rolling. But it doesn't matter what series, it seems like everybody's making massive changes this year. And this is going to be one heck of a roller coaster the next couple of months. And I think it starts now. And SEMA, PRI, those are the big couple of dates that we're really going to see a lot of news pump out at, and rumors and things like that. But let me know at JimBeaver15. Hit me up, and would love to know what's on your mind and what you guys are thinking about. As far as some of these storylines go. I gotta say, like, one of my favorites, and we haven't even talked about this. We've started covering it a little bit this year, is IndyCar, and I'm a massive IndyCar fan. But I think driver changes have been great. The new IndyCar, this next IndyCar that's coming out, that is going to be a game changer for IndyCar. Anybody that's driven it said, man, this car is amazing. That is probably the single biggest thing I'm looking forward to in 2018 is this new IndyCar. I want to see that thing run. It's a badass looking. It looks fast, but I want to see these drivers get behind the wheel, and I want to see them going wheel to wheel in these things. I think it's going to make for some exciting racing. Not that IndyCar needs to get any more exciting, but I really think that it's going to be a game changer for next year. So I'm looking forward to that. So once again, I know we've got a few questions rolling in. Maybe we'll get to them in the next segment. But if you're listening in, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, hit me up, and we'll try and get those questions in the show in the next segment with Amy if we can. We got some Red Bull Straight Rhythm to talk about and a whole lot more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Get ready to get in the holiday spirit. American Idol Season 5 winner Taylor Hicks. Live in concert Saturday, December 9th. Inside the showroom at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Doors open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Arizona time. General admission tickets $30. VIP tickets just $40. Tickets on sale now. Visit BlueWaterFun.com or purchase inside the casino gift shop. Don't miss the Taylor Hicks Christmas Show.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. Welcome to the show, Miss Amy Hood. How's everything going?
Hey, it's going pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm just, recovering from some Terracross. It was a long drive. That's about it. But the racing was awesome, Jim. I had so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun to have you back out. I know that thing, we didn't even get to talk about it last week because it got put together at the last minute. You drove down from Winnipeg there to ERX Motor Park, and I got to say, Hood, one, it was good seeing you because you and I talk – I don't know, we talk on the phone and on the radio show, we're talking hours a week, but we don't hardly ever see each other in person. That was like the first time in a year we've seen each other, even though we talk all the time. It's kind of crazy. But so, one, it was good seeing you, but two, I was pretty dang proud of you. You've gotten very quick in a razor.
Well, thank you. I'm up against some great competition. Jolene, Lundberg, all the girls are really tough competition, and it's a lot different. Yes, I've had a little bit of seat time in Monster Jam in a razor, which we call the Speedsters, but we're usually typically on a hard base track. So it's like almost a flat track style of razor racing, which is completely different when you come to Terracross. It's loamy, there's typically 2-lane options, huge jumps. And, it's all about adapting to your conditions. And, man, it was wild. And especially with the rain, made the track pretty technical. You couldn't see anything right off the start. You just get blasted with roost. And, it was so much fun. I had a blast. And by the end of the day, Jim, I think I finally put in enough laps that I figured it out. I found all the good lines.
Yeah, you and Jolene had a pretty good battle. I think, was it in the second women's final? You and Jolene were having a heck of a battle.
Well, the only reason we had a good battle is because her car was not surviving the whole race. I think she broke 3 axles, so I could see her slowing down, and I know that's not typical Jolene race style. So I kind of was, oh my gosh, yes, don't make it. Like I was kind of using it to my advantage, unfortunately, her disadvantage. But, that's racing. I saw that car slowing down, and I was trying so hard. But that girl is, one heck of a racer, and she's a tough competitor, and she made that thing cross the finish line, and I can't even believe it. But it was so much fun.
Yeah, well, and it was one of those, like, I was stoked to have you back, and now it's like I'm looking at the schedule for next year, and I know you're kind of scheduled for Monster Jam, and I'm like, man, this Terracross stuff kicks off in June and runs kind of all summer long next year, and like finishes up early fall, and I'm like, man, we might have a chance to get Amy in this series full time next year. What do you think?
Oh, I would love to. And again, like, by the end of the day, I finally figured them out. I figured out, how they respond to hitting specific jumps, and, figured out how to turn them on the inside lines, because I would typically blow every corner if I took the inside, but great passing lane. But I would love to, do a full series and have a couple more options. When you're only down there for one day, you don't really have much room for error. So the first, I was going to say moto, typical moto chip. My first race, I kind of ran into some bad luck, and you had one more to capitalize on, but I need a whole series so I can, pull through and maybe finish on the podium. But unfortunately, not all the top girls were at this round. I know there was Best in the Desert and UTV World Championship. So, it's a tough grid. Those girls know how to handle those machines. It's wild.
Yeah, it was, Sarah wasn't there, and there was a couple others missing, but it was still a really solid women's field, really exciting. And talking to Joe, he was talking about, we got to bring back the gap jumps next year. I'm like, really? Do we have to go there, Joe? But
well, I like the gap jumps, Jim. I don't think you're particularly too fond of them, but I think I'd be a lot more comfortable doing the gap jumps this year. But that track was fun. It was awesome. The jumps are still really big, but I love the two lanes. It really makes for some great racing and some good passing. And my favorite thing, though, was the men versus the women. That was a stat class. I think there was 20 racers out on the track at one time. And, obviously all the girls are out for blood trying to beat all the boys. But I think the girls finished awesome. Me and Michelle finished right on top, like 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th. Like, we had a good run. That was my best ride of the day for sure.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like, too, like, it sucks because you finally get your rhythm, and then it's like, the weekend's over, and it's like, why couldn't I start out at that speed on the first race, and then we'd be really good, but it is what it is.
I know. We need 2 days of racing. I could race Terracross all week long. Give me a week-long series, Joe. I want to be in a racer all week.
Yeah. So, hey, we got to talk, though. I haven't even touched on it so far today. I talked about Best of the Desert. I've talked about Lucas, talked about a ton of stuff. And I know we didn't necessarily get to watch it because we were both actually at a Terracross after party. But I know you've probably brushed up on social media and quick on the web on Red Bull Straight Rhythm. But man, that went down this weekend, and I guess we ought to talk about it. How much have you been able to kind of catch up on it since the weekend? Because, like I said, I'm not super versed on it because we were occupied at the time.
I didn't catch up too much, but obviously huge deal for Marvin Muscan, but I haven't actually looked into it, so we can't talk about it this week. I'm sorry. We've been kind of going wide open, and my head is totally focused around Terracross and trying to figure out a ride for next year. But, did you get any chances to check it out?
Yeah, well, the one thing, obviously, Marvin, he just kind of dominated. I was kind of bummed. Yeah, Colton Haker, I was excited. I like Colton because Colton steps out of his box and tries new things. He's a world-class endurocross rider. He went and he tried snow bike at X Games. It actually worked out into his favor, and he got a medal. But here he goes and does straight rhythm. Here's an enduro guy who's trying straight rhythm. So, I went, you know what? Props to Colton for doing it. I was kind of bummed. It looked like he had a scare. He had a scare in round one, and so he ended up just kind of waving the white flag, and he faced Marvin in the first round. But win or lose, I like riders or drivers for that matter, and I try and step out of my box, and I know you do too, who try and push themselves. And they set themselves up where, you know what, at least they're trying something new, where even if they fail, I still can applaud them. I think there's a lot of people, and this just is in life in general, not necessarily motorsport, but they get stuck in their little box and in their comfort zone, and they never want to leave that comfort zone. And a guy like Colton Haker, win or lose, I applaud him for stepping out of his comfort zone and trying straight rhythm.
Oh, absolutely. And, sometimes you stick with what you know, and if you never cross over, you never really can find out, hey, maybe he, could step up to the plate and, kick butt at straight rhythm. Sometimes you'll never know unless you try. But also it's great, it's great cross-training. It's good to mix it up. It keeps you enjoying riding a dirt bike. So many of these guys just, drill it out on the track. They're so focused on long motos, training, their training schedule, that they don't get the opportunity to enjoy riding a dirt bike. And I think that's why you see a lot of these guys jump into a two-stroke. I mean, Ryan Villapoto lined up at straight rhythm on a two-stroke. I feel like if you switch up your rides, switch up your racing styles, do a little flat track, you fall in love with it all over again. And you need that. You need to not take it too seriously or you get burnt out. Obviously take your racing seriously, but you got it. And the best part about dirt bikes is there's so many different fields and so many different kinds of bikes to ride. And, that's where the passion really comes from. And, props to Ryan Villapoto making it to the semifinals.
Yes, absolutely.
But, man, I did not see that coming. Jared Stanky and Ronnie Mack going face-to-face. And, that was insane. And I'm surprised, kind of Jared's coming off the radar now, and he kind of was that black sheep. I don't think anybody had him in his poll at all.
Yeah, and you know what? Props to Ronnie Mack. This dude, he's been running his mouth for weeks now, and you know what? When his back's up against the wall, you know what? He produced. He made it to the finals. That isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give, as much as he's kind of a dumbass online, I got to give him credit, man. Ronnie Mack, dude, you are the man. You made it to the finals. You know what? He put his money where his mouth was. I got to say, Ronnie Mack, props to you.
And he celebrated with a PBR. So
yeah. Absolutely. But going back to that, props to him for coming out and and he could have just sat there online and run his mouth, but he shows up and he actually raced. I mean, like I said, I try a bunch of different things. You do too, right? I mean, I race trophy trucks. I do desert racers. Now I'm trying Terracross. I do stuff in rally cars. I'm not saying I'm good at everything, but I like challenging myself. I like going into something where I'm not good so I can learn from it. And I think a lot of people, if they're not good, they won't even try. And that's not me. I don't care. I just want to have fun, Like you said, you're a professional fun haver. I'll do whatever's fun. I don't care.
Oh, absolutely. And, even racing Terracross, I find my skills on the dirt and even in Monster Jam with being able to eye up jumps, and it all crosses over. And once you're dominant in something, you really can apply your technique and skill on any level, and the racer in you will always try to prevail whether you suck at first or not. But it's fun. It's the fun side of this industry is you work hard, play hard. And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, I guarantee you're going to be in and out, and you're going to be a blip on someone's radar. You're not even going to leave an impactful career behind you. And it's I love seeing all these other guys kind of jumping fields and doing some flat tracking and jumping from a bike to a trophy truck or into a Polaris Razor. That's the best thing about motorsports is it's so versatile and so adaptive.
Yep, I agree. And speaking of versatile, our next guest coming up after the break, Josh Herron, guy who, I don't know, he'll try his hand at just about anything. So it's a good one you guys don't want to miss. Josh Herron up next after the break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, joined on the line by Josh Herron. How's everything going, Josh?
Hey. Good. How about you? Just what up? Now at a Bell event right now down in like Northern California, riding some motorcycles. So just getting us in the middle of two sessions.
Oh, nice. Well, I know Amy and I were talking before the break on. Hold on, let me turn your. We're getting a little wind noise, buddy. Hold on. Here we go.
There you go. I'm in the truck now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Awesome. You are crystal clear now. No, we were talking about before the break, people who like to kind of step out of their box and try their hand at anything. And I'm one of those, like, you know, razors, rally cars, off-road trucks. Like, you and I talked about, I'd love to jump on a super bike and try it at some point, you know, and not to race, but just to try it. But you're one of those guys, like, you've stepped out of your box, dude. I mean, this is your first time racing a Polaris Razor, man. You were doing pretty solid. I mean, how was your first experience at Terracross?
It was pretty crazy. You know, I thought going into it, I was like, you know, my teammate for the series was Darren Mees, and you know, he told me like, hey, I broke it a couple times, and but it was a lot of fun. But he's used to kind of, you know, all that stuff. He does snowmobile, snow bike, so jumping isn't like a big deal to him. So my deal was like the jumps, and then as I'm getting on the flight to head out there, Ashley, his wife, tells me, oh, yeah, you know, when Darren rolled it, I'm, like, thinking, like, what? What do you mean when he rolled it? And she's like, oh, he didn't tell you? And I'm like, no. Like, as I'm going to get on the flight, he's, like, she's telling me how he rolled it a few times, and that just, like, I was, like, freaked out then. And then going into the event, I was all scared. But, you know, once we got it started and I got my first rollover out of the way, it was actually fun. But, you know, doing the tire walls was intimidating to me, but it ended up being the easiest thing. Doing the jumps was the sketchiest to me, just having the front end dive down, you can't see anything but the ground, just stand straight at the ground, hoping you don't roll it forward. So it was crazy. You know, I'm glad I did it though. You know, I want to go back and do it for sure. It was a lot of fun. You know, met some new people, had a bunch of fun. So I'm hooked now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, and obviously
we should have sent you Jim Beaver's.
What's that?
I was going to say we should have sent you Jim Beaver's double front flip video clips from the very first round of Terracross.
Yeah.
It was pretty exciting, but yeah, those things can really handle a little rollover, a tip over. It's pretty wild how I guess, safe that they are when you actually do run into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah,
it was nuts. Like, I was kind of expecting, like, I knew, like, obviously don't let my hands, like, fly out of the car. That was, like, the first thing I thought. But it was, it's crazy even, like, how well they soak up, you know, all the hits that they take. Like, even when you case a jump or something, it's like you hardly feel it, where, you know, I was expecting it to be like a golf cart. Like anytime I go to the golf course and we jump golf carts, and, like, it feels like instant migraine, like 2 seconds later. That's kind of what I was expecting, but it was sweet just being able to hit anything and not have that fear factor once I knew that it would soak it up. Like, you know, obviously, like on a dirt bike, you can't just go and huck it. And I mean, you could, I guess, but I don't go and do that. You know, you always, you know, it's gonna hurt if you case it in that thing. It's like it just takes up anything, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So how was things with you? I mean, obviously, we'll talk about Terracross a bit more, but you had a pretty wild season, I guess, quote, on your day job. You got kind of re-picked back up by the factory Yamaha team. I mean, how did that all come together? I mean, kind of take us through the end of your season, because, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, this was a team you're familiar with. You came back in because of an injured rider, stepped in, and, I mean, kind of bring us through that, you know, and kind of the wrap-up to your season.
Yeah, it was nuts. You know, last time I talked to you guys, we were heading into the Superbike season for the first time. We just won the class in North America called Superstock 1000. And, you know, Superbike's a class that I was familiar with. I won the Superbike championship in 2013, but new to the team that I was going to be on. And, you know, we had a pretty good year. We had some mechanicals and stuff, but we, you know, midway through the year, 3/4 of the way through the year, the team pulled out. And so I was left without a ride. I went to the race in Pittsburgh as a spectator for the first time in 12 years of my professional career. I just kind of went and partied with the crowd at night and watched the races. And then Sunday, Cameron Bobier separated his shoulder. It was weird. He didn't have a crash. He just, you know, had a little bobble and it popped his shoulder out of place, and he ended up getting surgery for it. So factory Yamaha called me up and asked if I wanted to, or if I could replace him. And it was kind of like, it was just a really smooth transition. I like you said, I'd been on the team before for like 8 years, and worked. His crew was the exact same crew that I won my championship with, and so it was a really easy transition. And getting on the bike was, you know, we got on the bike for the first time in New Jersey, and Cameron had a totally different setup than I did, and it kind of messed me up. I wasn't able to get comfortable on the bike. I don't know if you know what that feeling's like, but if you don't get on a motorcycle or your car and if the setup's not right, it throws you off. And usually I can ride around most of the problems, but the problem that I had was the position I was in on the bike, like where my rear sets were, the height of them, and where my seat position was and all that. So it really messed me up, and I didn't really perform that well at Jersey. But in between the Jersey and the last round in Alabama, they made some custom rear sets, which are the pegs, and we lowered the bike like 20 millimeters, and I immediately went from running like 10th in practice to leading practice or being in second practice. Wow. And we're super competitive in the race. You know, we should have won the first day, but I had a big bobble like on the second to last lap and lost like a second on the leader, so we ended up finishing second behind Roger Hayden. And then, you know, the last race, which was the Sunday race, we had some pretty crazy rain, and there was a lot of puddles, and people were hydroplaning and crashing. And, you know, I wasn't in the fight for the championship, so I decided to sit it out just because there's not a lot of runoff that track. And, you know, it was pretty sketchy. So me and Roger Hayden sat out, which was a crappy way to end the season. But, you know, I didn't want to destroy the team's bike and get myself injured before the start of the next season. So it was crazy. You know, it was a good experience. I'm glad that I got to jump on and do it. You know, I was hoping that it would increase my chances of getting back on the factory for 2018, but I haven't got any calls yet, so we're just kind of looking around for a ride right now, and hopefully something pops up.
Yeah. How is it for you? I mean, you know, it's, you know, and even talking with the guys that flat track and things like that, and that's kind of had a resurgence here, but it's like, especially being like a superbike racer, like in Europe, I mean, you know, they're household names. I mean, it's a massive deal, you know, and here in the U.S., like, it's still a massive deal. You guys are uber talented, but it seems like, you know, like Supercross gets the lion's share of the motorcycle publicity type of thing. I mean, it's got to be a tough occupation to be a superbike racer in the United States, right?
Yeah, you know, it sucks. I mean, just to be completely honest, you know, we went from I guess there's the big thing is there's like a handful of seats, you know, and the guys that get those spots, which is like the spot that I was on for 10 years, you know, you're making a few $100,000 a year if you're doing good, and you know, it's nice, and you don't think about it. But then I went over to Europe, didn't have a good year, you know, went for it, you know, tried to make the most of my career, and it didn't work out. And you know, I you know, came back and had to ride for a smaller team, and just you know, haven't been able to get back to where I want to be yet. You know, I'm getting the results and winning championships, but it's, you know, now I'm fighting for it and doing everything I can just to make sure that I don't have to get a day job and I can keep training like I need to. And you know, it definitely does suck. It's frustrating, you know, seeing, you know, how hard we work and how awesome our sport is, and not being able to see the fans show up at the track like they should. You know, it's getting a lot better, but it's not what it was, you know, 15, 20 years ago, or even when I started professionally 10 years ago. And, you know, I think a big problem is that America in general they don't want to go to sports where they got to walk around. You know, they want to be lazy and sit in the seat and be able to see everything right in front of them. And road racing, you know, you gotta kind of walk around the track, and, you know, it takes a little bit of effort, and they don't want to do it. You know, they just want to sit down and drink their beer and eat their food, which kind of sucks. But, you know, everybody's kind of turning into softies and not wanting to get out.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure.
I couldn't agree with you more there, honestly. I've never actually thought of that perspective, but it's so true.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, any you know, baseball, football, like all that stuff, they just, you know, they get to sit there, which is nice. You know, it's fun, but, you know, it's a little bit of work to go to a road race if you want to see the whole track. So, you know, but with MotoGP, you know, I don't know what it is over there. People just they live and breathe, you know, road racing over there. You see it on the cover of newspapers. You see it on TV when you're over there. You know, those guys are making, you know, $5, $6, $7 million a year. And it's nuts for sure. You know, I every American wants to get over there, but it's really hard. They make it really hard for us to go over there. You know, like when I went over there, I had a 2-year contract, and I got canned after, you know, 7 months on the bike. So it's hard to do whenever you're trying to learn a track, and new bikes and travel and all that stuff, and they don't give you the chance. So it's a bummer, but hey, I'm alive, and I'm riding a motorcycle and getting paid for it. So I'm pumped. Just want to try and help the sport out as much as I can and get the word out. And, you know, happy that you guys are, you know, allowing me to come on the show. I know you guys don't normally cover the road race stuff, but pumped that you're letting us come on and talk about it.
Yeah, we're all about the personalities, man. Amy and I have had this conversation. We just like rad personalities. So you definitely, dude, you can out-punch me in the bar on the punching bag. So you're a rad personality as far as I'm concerned.
I still think he is the reigning champion, and I'm super surprised. Jim, I thought you could pack a punch.
No, you know what? You know what was funny is between Josh and I think we beat everybody by at least 100. Josh had me edged by I think I was what was it, 890, and you were like 917 or 920 or something like that. And I think the next closest person was at like 800. So it was just I don't know, man. You got the edge on me, that's for sure. But you and I think we had everybody else whooped by at least 100. So I wasn't a slouch. Yeah, so let's just put it the.
I had some brass knuckles on. I just pulled them off real quick.
Yeah. I'm a softie. I think I got like 600. I can't pack a punch, that's for sure. I'm a pacifist, okay? I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
That's what my opinion, I'm sticking to it.
Hey, whatever makes you sleep at night, Hood.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, whatever makes you sleep at night, Hood. Okay. So here's a question, though. I mean, obviously, you know, you've got a background on just about everything on a dirt bike. I mean, there's, you know, or a dirt bike or a motorcycle. You know, there's some stuff with snow bikes coming up. I mean, obviously, flat track is really taking off in this country right now. I mean, you know, is there any idea in your head like, oh, maybe I ought to try and transition and cross over to one of these other things?
Yeah, for sure. It's I started working with, obviously, Ashley, he's my new manager for the year, and she's kind of opened my eyes to just opening up to doing some other sports and trying to get my name out there, especially in the off season when we don't have any road racing going on. And this is the first year I've actually ever owned my own street bikes. I've been going and doing track day events, just riding with people, and just got into the Terracross stuff. And I've been into flat track before. I really like it, and I own a supermoto track in Georgia, so I try to do as much as I can. But I would love to do some more flat track or do some snow bike stuff. Darren's been trying to get me to come up to Oregon and try out the snow bike stuff. I tried it like 5-6 years ago, but I guess it was when the sleds or the kits for the bikes were first coming out, and they weren't as good, and I kind of sucked on it. But he says they're a lot better. They've come a long way, so I want to try it for sure, because that even like looking at the jumps at X Games, like I was telling him, like if there's not like any huge jumps like on a motorbike, I'm usually just as good as like any of the pro guys in the turns. Like we go to a turn track or something, it's just when you get to the jumps, that's when I'm kind of like, oh. I think it's just because I get worried. Like in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking about, okay, stay safe for road racing, obviously, because it pays the bills. But that I don't think the jumps at the snowcross or snow bike stuff are that huge. So maybe if I get used to that thing, it might be something kind of fun for me. I've been trying to just try everything out. Like I said, it opened my eyes and made me I've always been scared to try other stuff, and now the past couple of years I've been just trying to get into as much as I can, and I want to be able to say when I'm 50 or 60, hey, I tried everything and had a lot of fun. I think the only thing I wouldn't do is skydiving. I don't know why, but that scares the crap out of me. Yeah. I'll try just about anything else.
I feel like you're putting your life in the parachute's hand at that point. So it's like I want to have some kind of control over what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time. Yeah, I appreciate you calling in today, buddy. We definitely need to catch up more often. Keep Amy and I in the loop on what you're up to, man. We'd love to keep track of what you got going on.
I will for sure, man. Hopefully we can make it out to some more Terracross events next year, and maybe I can keep up with you next time and maybe roll you over a couple times.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Josh, man. Good luck in the off season and in the hunt for a ride, man.
All right, sounds good, guys. Have fun.
All right, thanks. That was Josh Herron, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up on another edition of your favorite action motorsports radio show. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in, keeping it here, keeping it down and dirty, I guess. But thank you guys. If you haven't already, please go over to please make your way over to iTunes and subscribe to this. Obviously, you listen live online. You can listen to national syndication, but you can get the back episodes if you happen to miss one. You can always get those back episodes over there on iTunes. So please go over there and give us a subscription and rate and review us if you get a chance. If you do that, and I see your Twitter, Instagram username in the review, I will follow you guys back on social media. Don't forget SEMA coming up next week. I will be live from the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame on Monday. That'll be the next edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And then we'll also have our Tuesday National Show. I'll also be doing some podcasts and dropping Project Action. This week we've got Tiffany Stone on Project Action. That drops on Thursday. Make sure and check that out. And come say hey at Camp RZR. I'll be there Friday, maybe Saturday as well. Should be a good time out there. You can follow me on social media. It's at JimBeaver15. Amy is at AmyHood71. Project Action, obviously, and Down and Dirty Show. Subscribe to those. Dirtfish, our coupon code is JBDirtfish for 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. Don't forget, our good friends at Genuine Polaris Parts have a discount for you as well on Genuine Polaris Parts. All you have to do is go to genuinepolarisparts.com/JimBeaver, and you'll get that special offer. Thanks to Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, KC Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, OTSFF, Optimus Starters, our friends at GenuinePolarisParts.com, Terracross, Blue Dart Resort and Casino. I'm Jim Beaver. On behalf of Amy Hood, we are signing off for this week. Be safe. As always, game on.